So the white shirts of the Wolfpack ready to get us underway. That's the voice of the referee, Nick Bennett. Craig Hall will no doubt retrieve that ball in a moment or two. Oh, maybe we've lost a tee. There we are.
It's on you when you're ready, pal. Stay on, boys.
You do all the rehearsals, everybody's perfect, and then somebody forgets to bring a tee.
Right. Got you.
There we go.
Let's go,
So Craig Hall gets us underway as the Wolfpack in white attack the King Street end of Lamport Stadium, the Den as the fans like to call it, against the Hemel Stags. And they are pursuing perfection. Toronto Wolfpack aiming to become the first team since expansion to record 15 straight wins in League One. Anything other than a sizable home win over the Hemel Stags would be an upset, I think, of seismic proportions. It's first against last at Lamport Stadium, with the promotion Super 8s looming large. How much of this, Ryan Brierley, is a matter of pride as far as the Wolfpack is concerned today? Because they should win comfortably. Yeah,
we've had a real big focus this week about our defence. We felt we wasn't as efficient and as effective as we'd like to be last week, and Paul Rowley made that clear in no uncertain terms as well in the video session. He wasn't happy at all. So as much as we're a great attacking side, I think I'm more interested to see how our defence goes today. I think we're going to be a really physical and dominant side.
That's Johnny Pownall, who is filling in at fullback. Usually you'll see him charging down the right wing, but no QLT today. So Pownall plays at fullback, and the wingers, well, on the left-hand side, Liam Kay, leading try scorer, and on the right wing, Ryan Burrows today as Fui Fui Moi Moi goes for a jog.
Go.
So one or two positional changes. Yourself, Ryan, obviously rehabbing from the hernia surgery, and the players on the field have got to focus on this last 80 minutes before they get a bit of a rest, and before, I guess, the refocus for the Super 8s, which are a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, definitely. I think today's a real attitude battle, being true to yourself and being a real professional, and I'm sure Paul Rowley would have drilled that into him as a kick from Johnny onto the crossfield for Craig Hall.
Looking for it, well taken in the end by Marcus Elliott on that far side, under pressure. And if you're new to rugby league, these are the hard yards when you're defending from your own goal line. 6 tackles to get as far up the field as you can, get away from the danger zone, but the white shirts are never very far away. Fui Fui Moi Moi and Jake Emmett there to halt the progress. And you'll often see on the last tackle, on the 5th tackle, that the attacking team will kick for position unless they're in a scoring position. It's Jack O'Brien.
Hold here. Hold, no penalties, guys.
Held up by Adam Sidler amongst others, and there is the kick. Pownall just watching the bounce.
Play on.
And away come the Wolfpack over halfway. Liam Kay. Well, last time I was here, he scored 5 tries in 1 game, and has 17 for the season. He'll be eager to add to that tally today, I'm sure.
Hold. Go forward, you downtown. Forward, Mike, you
Bob
downtown.
Bezic, dummy half. And away goes Craig Hall through the big gap. Hall might go all the way himself. The skipper, leading by example, touches down under the posts, and the first try of the game goes the way of the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I'm going to give Reece Jacks a real good rap. He took the ball straight into the line. Jack Buss's lead created a bit of room for Hawley at the back, and he saw Jack on his left and thought, I'd rather back my own pace to score the 4 points. So great line by Hawley, and he's a real confidence player, Craig Hall, and that happening at the start of the game is a perfect eye-opener for him.
Evaded a couple of tackles, and once he saw the whites of the posts, there wasn't anything that was going to stop him, and he will have a chance to convert his own try. Does so with no problem whatever, straight in front. So 2 points for the conversion, 4 for the try, and an early 6-point lead for the Wolfpack, which I guess will settle the nerves.
Yes, and I think regardless whoever the team you face with, you certainly nice to get them early game nerves out of the way, and I'm sure that'll settle Craig Hall's nerves especially. But yeah, can't credit Grease Jackson enough. He really dug into the line, created the space for Craig Hall, and he finished greatly.
Yeah, it's all right, Bob. It's no big deal.
And they make it look so easy, and when I've watched you play, again, it's the quickness of the hand, the understanding with your colleagues, as we see Paul Rowley up there on the walkie-talkie, but of course these are things that you practice day in and day out.
Yeah, so our execution and skill is a real part of our training at the moment. We want our skill to be top-notch all the time, but especially the way we play, I think Burrows makes another break. Craig Hall for another try.
And Hall's in again. We'll have some help from Ryan Burrows, and this time a little further out, as he was pursued by Josh Casey. But Hall was comfortably in and over the touchdown. And it's the Craig Hall show so far.
Great sell by Bob Bezic on that short side. He saw the dummy open, sent both markers, and went down the short side with a 2v1, and the boys, Craig Hall and Burrows, executed it really well, and over for another 4 points, back-to-back tries, and certainly not what Hemel would have wanted.
Well, Hemel have been on the end of some frightful beatings so far this season. A couple of times they've leaked 80-odd points, and they'll hope that this doesn't get out of hand too early from their point of view.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. It's a tough game for the Hemel Stags. They come over here. I think they only landed yesterday, which
they did.
The jet lag certainly won't help them, but I'm sure the Wolfpack won't feel sorry for him in any sort of way. So they need to accept it and really step up, because it could get really embarrassing for the team.
So wide out on the right-hand side. Hall looks for his second conversion and gets it as well. Tough angle, but so far the captain, well, was captain fantastic.
Yeah, Craig, real great start to the game. He took a bit of a beating in video this week, and I'm sure Paul will be happy with his contribution so far. But Craig Hall is just so relaxed and so laid back. You probably get confused for a bit of laziness, but I can tell you now he's a real classy player when he wants to be, and when his attitude's right, he can certainly come up with some great performances, as he has done for the rest of this year.
And we've seen in the early minutes of this game just those I mean, he's a tall man, he's well over 6 foot, so once he gets in full flight, he's very difficult to stop. So's this guy too, Fui Fui Moi Moi.
Yeah, especially off the back line, you wouldn't kick to Fui Fui Moi Moi, would you?
Oh, I wouldn't. Adam Sidlow, it'll take 3 to stop him.
Hold here, guys, hold.
While Bezic at dummy half decides to go left for Jake Emmett.
3, man! Hold.
Bezic again, wanting to get on with it, as always, feeds James Laithwaite, who's had his ups and downs, I guess you could say, this season. Had to take time off with that broken bone in his neck, but seems to have come back as strong as ever and as enthusiastic as ever.
Yeah, certainly. He didn't get any sympathy from the players, I'll tell you that. But no, to come out from a broken leg, I think it speaks volumes of his attitude and his commitment to get back to the playing field. And yeah, I say I can't thank him enough.
Panel with the up and under. And it was caught confidently. I think it's Marcus Elliott on that far side. There's Joy Perkins, an Aussie from Sydney originally. Had a couple of years in the NRL in his playing days, but he's been very much a part and parcel of the Hemel Stags operation over the last 10 or 11 years, as they've made their way from the amateur to the semi-pro ranks.
I'd like to give him a big rap as well. He's complemented the Wolfpack team and the Canada country in general really well, so it's nice to have a positive impact.
Fui Moi Moi is not, well, he is going to be stopped, but you don't want to let him run at you at full speed. Bezic unleashes quickly. Laithwaite taken down. He's 3 or 4 metres short of the line as they look for another one. Bezic inside for Emmett, right on the goal line, just held up short.
Come on, guys. Hold, go third.
Bezic feeds the right-hand side. Jack Bussey, I think that is, forced back a little. It is Bussey. 4 tackles gone, 2 to go, as the Wolfpack threaten a third quick try. Bezic feigned to go one way, held up just a metre short. Blake Wallace going to go himself, is he? Can he get it down? He did. And Blake Wallace marks his return with a try for the Wolfpack.
obviously a great run to set it up by Fuimori. You're a brave man if you want to stand in front of him, so fair play. It's certainly something I wouldn't do, but obviously on the back of it, Blake gets a wide ball from dummy half off Adam Sidlow, and Blake's famous for his left foot step and his strength and power to get him over the line. But I'm really pleased for Blake. He's worked really hard to get back from his rehab, and he's the ultimate professional in that area. Like I said earlier, they've been game ready, they've been ice compression, and he's trained really hard. So I'm made up for him, and I'm sure that'll do his confidence a world of good.
Try number 8 for the season for Blake Wallace, just stretching that left arm out over the Stags line. And another successful kick. 3 from 3 for Craig Hall. He scored 2 of them himself. And very quickly, it's an 18-0 scoreline in favour of the Wolfpack.
Just as we look at the replay again, Blake Wallace just looked over his shoulder on the left-hand side, realised there was nothing doing, came back off his strong left foot. The injury was on the right foot, thank God, so he managed to keep his left foot fire and come off his left foot and managed to use his strength to get over the try line.
Stags find themselves kicking off again rather more frequently than they'd like to, collected by Wallace, by Kay for Sidlow. So just about 11 minutes gone and already an 18-point lead. Hall, the Burrows on that far side. Just didn't have the pace to get around Rhys Williams, one of 2 Jamaican internationals. Corey Hansen is the other.
Scrum. Hemel.
That was a great effort by the Hemel prop forward there. He managed to slide off the back and managed to put our winger in touch, which is it's probably the first time Hemel touched the ball for a long time, which just gives him a bit of a breathing, gets re-energised in the team again. But great effort by the prop forward to get back on board and just show a bit of extra effort to get the ball back for his team.
Paul Rowley barking out his instructions via the intercom. First scrum down goes the way of the Stags, right on halfway. Maybe a chance for them to build a head of steam towards the Wolfpack try line. Lewis Fairhurst.
This is what Paul Rowley wants to have a look at, especially when we transition from attack to defence, is how tough we can be defensively, and it's what we worked on all week. We've not touched the ball hardly all week. We've just ripped into each other and practiced our defensive structure, because obviously as we go into the bigger games, that's certainly what's going to be needed.
Rhys Williams, along with Hansen, as I mentioned, Jamaican internationals. All willing workers, but all semi-pro players. Lewis Fairhurst, young halfback, who's caught the eye of a few so far this season. And then kicking for position, and out of play back, so just on the 20-metre line. It'll be a scrum down and head and feed to the Toronto Wolfpack.
It's been a common theme for visiting teams to come to Toronto, especially with the heat, the jet lag and the fatigue of the body, to find touch on with the last plays, with the kicks, to re-energise the system and just to keep us in our own half. Everyone knows we can strike from deep, so just trying to minimise our meters, and it's a smart play from the Hemel Stags, and hopefully they can back it up with a real good defensive set.
Away they come, they go right this time. Craig Hall inevitably leading the way, took 3 of them to stop him. Bezic at dummy half, goes right for Fui Moi Moi, crashes into an opponent. A modern athlete, this man is by a distance the oldest man on the field, but my goodness, he keeps himself in peak condition, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He looks after his body really well. It's not surprised he stayed playing for this long. He looks after himself really well. It's a testament to his character and his attitude.
Emmett over halfway for the Wolfpack. Bezic goes himself this time. Offloads, finds Bussy.
Last tackle, move! Come on, hold it, guys.
Last tackle, what will they do?
Last tackle.
Little kick ahead, this time from Rhys Jacks. Up and under, it's there to be one. It is one play on. Johnny Pownall's first to react. He might go over himself. Has he got it down? He thinks he has. What does the referee think? The referee agrees it's a try. And 22-0 in very rapid time. Pownall the scorer.
I think Johnny Pownall's had a real great start to the game, but in his own characteristics efforts, he's he's not really renowned for kicking the ball or picking up loose scraps, but he's bumped a few people off and likes to get to the try line. And knowing Johnny like I do, he'll be quite proud of his fends and shrugging people off like that. He thinks he's a prop forward sometimes. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is.
Well, I'll tell you what that does. That brings him level with Liam Kay as leading try scorer. He now has 17 for the season, Johnny Powell, alongside his opposite winger. I would imagine there's quite a race between those two and one or two others. I think to finish up.
We're really lucky to have two outstanding wingers. I think they've been real good all year, and especially Ryan Burrows, who's had to slot in with it for a few of them, especially when they've been injured and stuff. We've got a real ray of talent, especially in the back line, and yeah, there's a bit of a healthy competition there, but we'll see who ends up on top of that one.
Hall again hoping to make it 4 out of 4, not this time, which just goes to prove that the Wolfpack skipper is human. He misses his first of the afternoon, and 22-0. Have another look at this.
I think great kick by Rhys Jacks. His last tackle, we speak about patience and keeping the ball in play, and he put a ball in an area where it's going to be ready to be challenged. And so well done to Johnny. He kept alive and managed to pick up a loose scraps, fended a few people off, and get over the try line. And Johnny's again, he's like a big kid around the training ground, and he's one of the most popular boys in the team. So really happy for him.
Lee, born and bred, and played for the Centurions for a number of successful seasons. Well, it's already a very healthy lead, unless you're a Hemel Stags player, coach or supporter, in which case I would imagine the scoreline is somewhat worrying at this early stage of the game. Away they go again. Bossy makes his way forward. Did they keep it alive? They did through Rhys Jacks, I think. A little untidy, but Jacks managed to collect it in. Fui, moi, moi. Hands first. Still on his feet. 3 of them. Well, eventually they let him go. Accepts the tackle. Going wide. Down, I think, goes Craig Hall, is it? It's Hall. Referee's whistle is gone.
I think it must have been a late hit from the Hemel player on Rhys Jacks. So I think Rhys, especially as halfbacks, we get taught to set the ball in close to the line, but as defenders you get taught to make sure the halfback feels uncomfortable. So yeah,
there it is, the late tackle.
I don't think it was too bad, to be fair. I think we managed to get a lucky one there.
Coming in from the Stags hooker, John O'Burns, who by the way is their leading try scorer. He'd love to get on the score sheet today. Plus he might. He's pretty close. He's only a metre or two short of that try line. Bezic at dummy half. Wallace looking to go again and score again. Balls come loose. And turnover. Just dropped it.
Yeah, Blake won't be happy with that. He's had a few real nice touches, Blake, but it was a pretty ordinary one. I think he's tried to flick a ball one-handed out the back to James Lathwaite when he wasn't really on, especially play 2 of the repeat set. So yeah, it's not a great play by Blake, but he's still playing back. He's not been in the game for a short while, so a bit of game rustiness. I'm sure we'll get that back.
I'm sure it's been noted by the head coach, or he won't let that go at some point. As the blue and gold Stags try and make some progress, just about on their own 20-metre line, but already 4 tackles gone. Roy Perkins looking on anxiously. So they'll kick for position just to relieve the pressure. Taken in first time by Johnny Pownell. Offloads to Ryan Burrows, who returns the favour. And then it all goes a little awry. It was meant for Craig Hall, but straight into touch.
I think might not touch the Hemel player as it went out.
Well, we'll see in a moment. Your eyes are better than mine. Let's have a look.
Go on, keep working, lads.
Hemel ball.
Keep working, boys. Keep working hard.
Maybe just me being biased.
We're second row for me. Back at second row.
Stags head and feed then.
It's on you.
Well inside Toronto territory. Can they build something from here? Danny Lawton has Mitch Vincent outside him. Lawton pushed backwards. Fairhurst at dummy half.
Mate, when he's on, stop him. What do you think?
Fairhurst ran straight into Greg Worthington.
Hold. Go. Now get on, Lewis.
Wayne Jowett.
3. Movement. Come on. Hold here, guys.
Stopped by Bezic.
3 go.
And by Emmett.
Tackle 3. All right.
Catching it at full speed was James Thornton, and then as he lost the ball, or was it ripped away?
Adam,
it was ripped away, I think.
Yeah, definitely was a steal by Adam, I think Adam Siddle in the end. Yeah, I think we missed a kicker. Reece Jacks was just a little bit late on reading the play, and the Hemel Stags player got his nose to the line, and we were just trying to save it and trying to rescue something what wasn't really there, so penalty to the Hemel Stags.
So penalty, 6 more, and here goes Rhys Williams. And this is as far forward a position as the Stags have made, and they've got plenty of tackles to make something happen at that end of the field. Fui Moi Moi and Bezit managed to hold them up temporarily. Whitehead was there, just a metre short. 3 to go. Can they make this count? Going on his own, Mitch Vincent, only a little guy, he's only 5'8", but his coach speaks very highly of him. Very nimble and mobile. Now John O'Burns plays it in field for Jowett. 5 tackles gone. Might have to kick it this time or find something clever. And then a slip from Fairhurst. Finds himself in the embracing arms of Moi Moi.
Certainly not. I don't even want to go down there. He's a nice player from the centre. I think he was unlucky that he slips. He beat James Layfield on his right foot. I think he was about to beat Fui, but that's not an arm you want to run into.
No. Come on, Jono.
He did slip, and as a result, Moi Moi's arm was a little high, but not penalised. Oh, was it penalised? I beg your pardon. It might have been, because the Stags still have possession.
That's okay.
And so here they go again. Whitehead very close and in the corner. It is going to be a try, is it, for Marcus Elliott? They've got the ball down, and the Stags are on the board through Marcus Elliott.
He's there. What's the second for him? Not keen.
22-4.
Yeah, the Wolfpack will be really disappointed with that. I'm looking down at Paul Rowley. He's really annoyed with the way they've conceded that try. It's man on man really, and I think the Hemel Stags playing the number 18 just managed to get on the outside of Reece Jacks, which he's got to do better. He managed to slip down his legs, but he managed to get his arm free and pass the ball to the winger to score in the corner, which it's a great play by the back row. He managed to get his arm free that on the back of one of our guys, and managed a spectacular finish in the corner from the Hemel player. And fair play, they've been down here for a while now, and they've put a lot of pressure on and managed to come away with 4 points, which is it's surprising for the Wolfpack, and we're not normally that soft, especially in that region. So it's a wake-up call for us, and I think when you start a game so well like we did, it's sometimes a bit of false sense of security. You kind of switch off a little bit on the little things you were doing well, and it could be a good thing for the Wolfpack just to get their attitude back right to normal again, and just gives a bit of a wake-up call. So can Vincent add the extras from out wide on that left-hand touchline? Kicks up. Is it good? It's no good at all, unfortunately. Soft and little right, but the Stags, a little bit of a moral victory for them, and they are on the board with a score of 22-4. But here are one or two of the errors that in the end led to that try happening. And well, a bit of, as you said, it was something that the Wolfpack will be disappointed with, the way they actually defended, and it ultimately paid the price. Yeah, it was just a little bit soft from us. We're a bit uncharacteristic. We've worked hard all week, especially on goal line defence, and the first time we've had to defend our goal line, Hemel have come away with a try, and I think that's what. It's just a lapse of attitude and lapse of concentration. We're normally really good in that area, and especially when we've been working so hard on it all week, it's certainly going to annoy Coach Paul Rowley.
4th try for the season for Marcus Elliott, and that'll bring some good memories to him, because he was actually sent off given a red card at York last week. So his contribution is far more telling on this side of the Atlantic. Jack O'Brien.
Well done, Foy. Knock on, 0-0.
Moi Moi, 0 tackle.
It's a 0 tackle.
Here we are. So an extra tackle for the Wolfpack.
0. Go.
Loud and clear from the referee, Mr. Bennett. Paul on that far side has already crossed twice himself up in the air.
Okay.
And turned over. He was looking for Powell or Burrows, who were there or thereabouts.
just got stuck in a bit of tangle of 3 players there and couldn't really get out of it, Craig. Also, I don't think he could do much more, just throw the ball over his head and hopefully Wolfpack jersey cleaned it up, but unfortunately not, and Hemel regathered the ball.
And you get the feeling that they're warming to their task, having got on the board. Certainly Troy Perkins was talking in realistic terms before the team came over, that they were going to come and try and enjoy the experience. They didn't really expect to win, but if they could give a good account of themselves, then that would probably do them. And as I say that, of course, the curse of the commentator, and Greg Worthington picks up the loose ball for the Wolfpack.
I think, especially with teams coming over here, I think it's been a common theme that teams start really poor. I think that's probably a bit down to the flight, a bit down to the jet lag, a bit of fatigue in the body, but it takes them a while to get going. But I think if a team was to start on fire and match our intensity, they'll certainly trouble us. So it's probably something what teams could aim at and really improve on coming over here, the preparation for the flight maybe.
Rhys Jacks is almost there. He's held up. Can he get it down?
Third tackle.
Held up.
Don't think he got there, did he?
Third tackle.
No, it isn't. So back they go to the 10-metre line. 3 tackles gone.
Also.
Scrambling defence by the Stags, just holding up Rhys Jacks there. So they'll restart. 10 metres short. Pownell again making his presence felt. Ball out. Knocked on, says the referee. So that's the end of that move.
I think we just come a bit clunky, a bit erratic with our attack at the moment. We're not running the plays what I'm used to, especially from the commentary box. It's not looking like we usually do. So it's there may be a bit of breakdown in communication there. It's not running as fluent as it usually should do, and it's given Hemel Stags away in, and they've certainly bought it. You can't, especially in any way of sport, if you're going to invite a team in, they're certainly going to take it, and Hemel have just about done that.
If you're just joining us from wherever you're watching around the North Atlantic, in Canada or the US, or across the pond in the UK and Ireland, you're very welcome. Nigel Reid alongside Ryan Briley in the booth today. Ryan rehabbing from surgery, hopes to be back in time for the Super 8s, the start of the Super 8s in a couple of weeks' time. And well, I'm just taking on board what you said, because after 10-12 minutes, Toronto had all these points on the board, but they've gone off the boil in the last 10 to 15 minutes, haven't they?
Yeah, certainly. And I think it's a clear sign of attitude, and because we started the game so well, we've struggled to maintain that intensity.
The referee's going to stop that. Just a misunderstanding there from John O'Burns at the play of the ball, and it's going to lead to a scrum down. Needless error from the Stags.
I think great contact by Blake Wallace and Greg Worthington. Greg's really known for his strong defence, his strong contact. He's certainly, for not the biggest centre, he's certainly waxing really hard, and his first initial contact's really good, and he managed to force an error in that contact there. So gives Wolfpack the ball back, and hopefully they can build some pressure and just build some confidence back in their attack.
Blake Wallace all the way through to Bezic. Worthington, Liam Kay in the corner. Did he get it down? The referee's having a look. He did. It's a try. Liam Kay, not surprisingly, is on the scoreboard for try number 18 of the season, and the Wolfpack extend their lead.
I think Liam's had a really quiet start to the game, not through any fault of his own, just not managed to get the ball in his hand, but from the scrum situation, Hemel have left a 2v1 on the short side, and we've certainly took it. I think the full credit goes to the pass of Bob Bezic. He puts Greg Worthington on the outside of his man, which creates the 2v1 and just makes it a little bit easier. And Liam is one of the best finishers in the game. He's fast, he's strong, he can use his feet, and he certainly knows where the try line is. So again, it's no surprise to see Liam Kay on the score sheet.
18 for the season now for Liam Kay. Another of the former Lee Centurions champions. Troy Perkins left to ponder what might have been, but you can't leave Liam Kay with all that room on the left-hand side, because he will punish you 9 times out of 10. And Craig Hall looking to twist the knife just a little further. Well, on this left-hand touchline, swinging it in, but not quite enough, I fancy. Just wide of that right-hand post. Got the distance and the height, but not quite the direction. Here's how simple it was.
Look at the pass from Bob Bezic. We call it an overs ball. I know Greg Worthington will be calling for the ball. He gets a 2v1, so he just puts him on the outside rather than straight to him. So he studs up, puts the ball on the outside of Greg Worthington's left hand, so he can get on the outside and might create a 2v1 and it's a simple enough finish for a player of Liam's calibre to score the 4 points.
Plenty of happy fans at the north end of Lamport Stadium, the Den, where all the craft beer tents are crowded and set out in apple pie order, sampling their wares. It's been suggested that I get up there, but not until after the game. Got to work first. Only water until we've had 80 minutes. Then we'll go for a wander. 26-4. Half an hour gone. Final regular season game, round 15 of the Kingston Press League One season. And the Toronto Wolfpack aiming for a 15th straight win. I was doing some homework on this, by the way, Ryan. 2009, when it was a 10-team league, Dewsbury Rams went 18-0 and got promoted. And last season, you may recall that Toulouse got pretty close. They won 13 and tied one of their 14 regular season games.
Yeah, I think regardless of whatever the competition is, it's really hard to go unbeaten in especially a team where you've got part-time players, full-time players. I think it's, regardless of what people say about us, and even though we're a full-time team, I think it's a remarkable effort to go unbeaten if this game carries on the way it's going. To go 15-0 and go unbeaten in a season, I think it's a great achievement, and I think it should be applauded and just in a way to put a positive influence on it and not looking for the negatives in things.
But in a way, are you looking forward to a time when the hill gets steeper and the challenge gets harder?
100%. We as players and professionals, we always want to play at the top level, and we understand we're in a league what is at the moment is probably inferior to where we're at the moment. We're a team full of full-time players, and to an extent you kind of feel sorry for the part-time teams and who having to travel and who've had to work all week. It's not fair, but I think we didn't choose the league we're in, and we're a highly ambitious team, and I said the end goal will be Super League, and the work what Eric and David have done behind the scenes is absolutely outstanding, and it'd be good hopefully to get this team into Super League and give Eric and David the rewards for the hard work they've just put in.
Well, if you're joining us for the first time, or you're a newcomer to Rugby League or to the Wolfpack, the original mission statement, or the vision if you like, was to be a Super League team within 5 years. So it would certainly appear that if the Super 8s, the promotion playoffs if you like, go in a similar fashion, that the Wolfpack will be a championship team next year in the middle tier if you like of English Rugby League, and then work its way towards the top tier of Super League within 5 years. In the meantime, there's some defending to do as James Thornton makes some hard yards inside the 10 metres. Helped out by Mark Barlow at dummy half. And here's Rhys Williams barrelling towards the try line. The referee's whistle is gone.
Bye, boys, here. Whoa!
And the turnover as the Tix tackles were up. Johnny Pownell doesn't seem to be moving too comfortably there. To get it out now, time for Greg Worthington to go for a run to stretch those legs. Give and go with Liam Kay, still Worthington. In the end, he is halted.
Great bravery by the Wolfpack team to pass the ball behind their own in goal, to get on the edge of a timing hemel defence, like I said, not long to go now, but it's for the great bravery, and I'm sure Paul, he instills that into his plays. I'm sure Paul will be happy with the way we had the guts and the guile to go about, and that's what happens on the back of that. You get a momentum shift, you get a quick play ball, and a penalty on the back of it.
Indeed, it is a penalty in the way of the Wolfpack, so 6 more as Rhys Jacks kicks for position over to that far side. And we'll set up another threatening, attacking move by the Toronto Wolfpack.
On the football!
We already enjoy a 22-point lead. Steve Crossley on from the interchange there. Out to his captain.
Hold it. Go one.
Jacks moves inside. And Tom Dempsey on as well, another Canadian international, also getting a rare taste of action. Everybody keen to get involved. Craig Hall, there's the hat-trick. The skipper with 3, rolled away from his opponent and extends the Wolfpack lead.
Rewind it back to the first play of this set. We come out of our own in-goal area where a normal team wouldn't pass in that area of the field, but we managed to get out of trouble really well and got a penalty in the back of that set, and a little short side play with our half-backs Blake and Reese. They managed to put Craig Hall in a bit of space, and he's up for his hat-trick. And again, it'll certainly please the coach Paul Roller, because Craig, he had a bit, like I said earlier, took a bit of a beating in video, and he certainly silenced Paul today. I'm sure he'll let Paul know about it after the game.
By my reckoning, as we look at the coach, who remains impassive, that takes Craig Hall to the top of the try-scoring charts for the Wolfpack. Started the day with 16, now a hat-trick. He has 19. Maybe he'll get ahead of Kay and Pownell and get to 21st. But first, he'll try and convert his own try, which he does with no problem whatsoever. 32-4.
This play, Bob Bezic jumps out dummy half and hits Blake for his left side half back to his right side half in Reece Jackson. Just too much movement for the Hemel Stags to defend. It's a tough set of play to defend, especially on your own line when you've got so many numbers coming at you. And unfortunately for us, Craig's found a gap and managed to get over his hat-trick try. Some
high fives with the fans at the beer tent end of the Den, and they're certainly enjoying the sunshine. They're enjoying the entertainment, and I would imagine they're enjoying the ale as well. And Fleming joins in the action, feeds Bussey, and then a little bit of a misunderstanding. So they tried to feed it wide. So it's not perfect, but it's good enough, certainly so far.
I think our attack has been pretty scrappy, especially to the normal stand where we're at. I'm sure Paul will speak at half-time to improve our attack. I think we've been pretty average in that area, so it's certainly an area to fix up. It probably comes from practicing defence all week and probably neglecting it, but yeah, I'm sure Paul will fix it up at half-time.
Barlow passes it away, gets it as far as Alex Williams, and he's stopped by Big Red James Laithwaite. Barlow at dummy half. As the Stags try and close the gap before half-time. Just that one try from Marcus Elliott. Wayne Jowett, who's been at a willing runner for the Stags offence. Can they conjure up something else before the break? Sam Crowther on the ball. Play on, says the referee. 2 tackles to go. They're pretty close, and they could be in again here. I think they're in again with Mark Barlow. And a second try for the Stags. And maybe that's more than they could have dreamed of when they got off the plane. But Barlow doubles their tally, and it's 32-8.
Oh, it's good. I can't change it now. Fair enough, I can't change it.
I think Hemel deserve it. I think they've found an area, especially on our right side, where they're getting some joy, and a few little offloads around the back row, and everyone just seems to hang around him, and we're just not hitting and sticking the way we need to at the moment, especially on that right edge defensively around Reese, Craig and Burrows on that edge. We're normally a lot better than that, so it's uncharacteristic from us, and it's certainly something we need to fix up, because regardless of however this game finishes, we know we've got the middle eights coming up, and we know we won't get away with that whatever league we're playing in, so it's certainly not good enough.
Mitch Vincent with the chance for his first successful conversion, very similar to where he was for that first try, maybe a little further in from the touchline. Let's see if he can get this one right. Got the height and the distance, and gets it between the sticks as well. So a successful conversion for Mitch Vincent, his 32nd goal of the season, and 32-10.
Similar try to the first one for Hemel. They managed to find a bit of a weakness on our right hand side. They might find a bit of an offload, and I think it's nothing less than they deserve. I think they've been had a real dig in the last 20 minutes. They've managed to get a bit of ball about them and managed to put a bit of pressure on us, and say we've not reacted to it really well.
Well, I think certainly from a Stags point of view, having got themselves not exactly back into the game, but certainly performed respectably during this first half. They'd like to get to half-time now, which is now only moments away without conceding again.
I've had enough now. 2 slow ropes. Penalty.
Lying on too long, says Nick Bennett, so awards the penalty to the Stags. And they'll kick for touch as the clock runs down towards half-time.
One of them.
Haven't been too many stoppages in this first half that I can remember, Ryan, so probably only a matter of seconds before we hear the hooter. Williams, 3 on him immediately. Barlow, the try scorer at dummy half, goes left. Bezic and Fleming among those halting their progress. There is the hooter. This will be the last play of the first half. And there we go. It is the end of the first half, which threatened to get away from the Hemel Stags in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Craig Hall with a hat-trick, but the Stags replying with tries of their own from Elliott and Barlow. And the Wolfpack lead at half-time, Ryan Brierley, by 32 points to 10. And a warm welcome back to Lamport Stadium as the gold and blue jerseys of the Hemel Stags, who have won just one game this season. It was a couple of weeks ago against South Wales. Get us underway attacking the north end of the stadium against the white shirts and black shorts of the League One leaders, the Toronto Wolfpack, who are aiming for a 15th straight win to wrap up the regular season. Dewsbury did it back in 2009 with 18 straight wins, but that was before the expansion of 2013. No less a feat, though, if you're a Dewsbury Rams fan. We give you props for that. I'm sure it was a very enjoyable season. But here we are in 2017, and Toronto Wolfpack are the expansion team, and beginning to make quite a few waves across the rugby league world. Johnny Pannell already with a try to his name. Nigel Reid alongside Ryan Brierley in the booth today. Ryan should be down there on the field, but has had hernia surgery in the last week or so. So he begins the rehabilitation process as Bob Bezic goes in for his customary try. And a quick start to the second half, as it was to the first. All too easy. And Bob Bezic says, thanks very much. I'll touch that one down.
Yeah, Bob's certainly great at that aspect on the back of offloads. He normally picks the right option 9 times out of 10. Especially if you look at it as a young hooker coming up, he certainly wants to model themselves on, especially the way he trains, the way how he manages himself, especially with injuries and stuff like that. He looks after his body really well. So in terms of professionalism and application, he's certainly one you look up to, especially on a field as a teammate. He's a bit like a Marine or some sort of army sergeant. That's the type of person he is. He's certainly that way inclined, and a bit of a weirdo with that as well.
Wigan-born rugby league coursing through his veins as Craig Hall lines up what he hopes to be another successful kick straight through the middle. No problem at all. And the lead goes out to 38 to 10. Craig Hall, if you're late joining us, scored a pretty rapid hat-trick in the first half. Here's Bob Bezic starting and finishing the move.
On the back of Steve Crossley's offload, managed to get a bit of a bumper up and offload to Bob, who's a little bit of a show and go, and I know Bob will be happy with that one. He don't normally score long range tries, so if he had to run more than 10 metres, he won't be the last of that one.
Keep that run good, boys. We're good first half.
So perfect start, and obviously whatever Paul Rowley said to his troops at half-time has had the desired effect, I suppose. A little bit awkward for Johnny Pannell. Now, did he keep it? Where did that end up? For the stand-in fullback. No QLT today. have another look here.
Yeah, he's been unlucky really. He managed to catch the ball really well, but as he's going back, he's threw the ball forward, which obviously results in a dropout. But unlucky by John. He's not had many flaws in his game at fullback. He's not played there for a while, so we'll forgive him for that one.
Craig Hall, though, has long, rangy legs and a big boot on him. Always clears halfway, as he does, into hemel territory. Aaron Ford to halfway. But scored a couple of tries to give their owner morale a big boost, with Elliott and Barlow crossing for the Stags before half-time. We're looking to add to that tally in the second half and leave Toronto with a good experience and their heads held high. Josh Kersey held up by Craig Hall, and Jack Bussey, was he lying on too long? I think he was.
Too slow.
Too slow, you heard the referee say it, Nick Bennett.
There's no excuse for that. I think the referee's really vocal in terms of communication with the players. He's been great for both sides. I think the consistency, as long as it gets for both teams, we can't argue. And I agree with the referee. Jack was on too long there.
Hall was trying to get Bussey off, but referee's whistle beat them both. James Thornton going for a trot. Bezic among those, and Rhys Jacks hauling him down. 12-13 metres short. It's going to be another penalty.
Again, the referee's telling him another step, screaming another step, but the boys just didn't really listen. I think they just need to sharpen up a little bit, especially communication-wise, because that's not good enough.
Well, this is a real chance for Hemel. 6 tackles from, 4 or 5 metres out. Can they manufacture something? They pass it right along the line. Fairhurst held up, 3 metres short. 5 tackles to go. There's plenty of time if they can find a way through. Sam Crowther. Referee lets it go, and then on the burst, held up on the line. Barlow trying to get it down, but there's 4 of them that keep him the wrong side of the try line. Still they go, and this time Jack O'Brien looking to get over. Still no joy, inches short. No, the tie's been given, has it? Let's have a look. I think I saw the referee signal the try, and if so, I think it's Jack O'Brien who's gone over for the Stags.
I think Johnny Parnell's been sin-binned as well.
Try has been given, according to the scoreboard away to my right. So we'll confirm all that for you in a moment. Jack O'Brien, I believe, touched it down. Here's what happened.
There's a great line by the Hemel Stags player on the inside of Tom Dempsey. He just missed a kick on his inside shoulder there. He managed to get with the try. It's a great try. Hit a real short lead on the inside post and managed to force his way over.
So no doubt about the score from O'Brien. And as you said, you thought you saw a sin-binning offence as well as Mitch Vincent. Let's just tidy up this before we move on. Vincent with the conversion, no problem at all. Towards King Street, and 38-16.
Just looking at Johnny Parnell's definitely been sin-binned. He's been sin-binned for dissent for the referee, which is, we know as professionals we're not allowed to do that.
Just a look ahead, and this is all somewhat up in the air at the moment in terms of opponents, but we do know that when the Super 8s get underway, Wolfpack will play the first 3 rounds in the UK, and then they will be back in Toronto for rounds of 4 to 7. So the last 4 games they will have home advantage for. Promotion playoffs, if you like, if you're unfamiliar, Super 8s. So we play the regular season, and then depending on where you finish, 1 to 8 or 8 to 15, you're in the hunt to play in a higher level of the game. You're playing for a little bit of pride. Hemel Stags were the wooden spoonists in 2016. It may well be the same in 2017.
Just seen the introduction of Quinn on for his second game of the year, and he's certainly eager to get in that first tackle then, so just needs to relax a little bit. I'm sure his adrenaline's pumping, but he's just managed to concede a penalty for his team, which is something what needed on the back of a sin bin anyway.
Well, watch out for him. Quinn Nawati wears number 28. Usually plays as the second row forward, back row forward. Can also play centre as well, we're told. But he's a big boy, 6'4", 212 pounds, and high hopes for the first Canadian-born professional rugby league player. But as Ryan rightly said, as Mark Barlow comes forward again, he's had quite a game. You really don't want to put a pressure on a kid who's just 18 and into his first contract, and just, you know, he's played both codes, he's played union, he's played league, and you don't want to put him on a pedestal too soon.
Well, he's certainly going to have time to develop it with the Wolfpack. I think under Paul and Simon Finnegan, he's under the great leadership, and I'm sure he'll get the right guidance, get the right mentoring into him, because he's very raw in his ability, but athletically he can't be challenged. He's certainly a great athlete, especially in the gym. You look at him in the gym, he's a bit of a freak, to be fair. So he's got time in his hand. He's 18 years of age, and I'm sure he can develop into everything we want to do. And as a Toronto and as a Canadian-based team, we should be proud of that fact. We produce our own born and bred players, and it's certainly an exciting time for him and his family and the Toronto Wolfpack in general.
And for all the residents, proud residents of Victoria, British Columbia, a beautiful part of the world. He's played, as I say, rugby union and making his way rugby league. Liam Kay, you see there, had a yellow card as well, so another sin-binning offence. Or was that the original one you referred to? He's back on the field there.
Yeah, I think it was Johnny Parnell.
It was Johnny Parnell, yeah. Ryan Burrows burrowing his way forward. Liam Kay, who already scored a try today. Offloads to Burrows on halfway, looking for the break away from those blue and gold shirts.
Hold there, boys. Hold.
Bezic at dummy half. Jacks. Wallace is gone. Wallace isn't going to be stopped. Look at the smile on his face. Thanks very much. Blake Wallace in for his second of the day. And the Wolfpack into the 40s.
Yeah, great try from Blake. This is all Blake Wallace. He's got square at the line, left foot, and reached out his partner in the right, but he says, nah, I'm going to left foot again and go under the post myself. So that, again, Blake, from them characters, he's really enjoying his rugby league at the moment, and he certainly shows in his ability to play rugby league. His show and go on a left foot step is all about Blake Wallace, and his big goofy smile is over the try line, and probably puts the team over for another 4 points. And at a time as well where I think we're struggling at the moment. The first 10 minutes of the second half, we've not really found our rhythm. We've had a player simmering, we've conceded a try. Certain things haven't been going well, so Blake's took it into his own hands and gone left foot under the post and managed to get his momentum back for his side.
No problem at all for Craig Hall to add the extra 2 points. 44-16 in favour of the Wolfpack.
Just how wide the pass is from Rhys Jacks to Blake. He gets the Hemel defenders chasing over and turning his hips, and someone with Blake's footwork and in his strength and his speed and his guile, he can manage to squeeze through gaps what really aren't there, and comes to the fullback and gives him the big seal with a big left foot. So a really talented player and a pleasure to play alongside at the moment.
It's good to see him back at full speed as well, because I saw him some weeks ago looking a little sorry for himself with a big pot on his ankle, and it took some weeks for that rehab to happen, but clearly now he's back up to full speed and fully fit again. And I suppose when you've had a semi-serious injury, you want to really test it out in battle competition to make sure that it all still works. Yeah,
definitely. You can't replicate game fitness unless you actually play it. You're back in game mode as such, and getting that game fitness back into you. And I'm going to have to go through the same process, and I just hope Blake's as complimentary to me as I have been to him.
There is Blake Wallace, and here is James Laithwaite over halfway for the Wolfpack. Well, you're welcome up here in the booth anytime. I'm not sure what Mr. Noble would say about that, but we've had 3 up here before on a number of occasions, which helps my job because it cuts down my ability to say anything about anything meaningful. Wallace with a kick forward. And well watched on that far side by Darren Ford.
Great take by the winger. The kick was really good from Blake. He hung up there for a while, and he had a lot of distractions, to be fair to the young winger, but managed to come up trumps with the ball and get his side on the front foot again.
Fairhurst again finds Ford. So safe pair of hands, but into touch on that far side.
Great defence by the Wolfpack side on that edge, especially with the young Quinn on that side. Managed to keep the guy up and managed to roll him into touch along with Liam Kay and get the ball back for his side.
Ford did well to catch it, but went straight into Nawati and Kay, who dragged him over the touchline. So scrummed out. As Jack O'Brien gets some running repairs, maybe a little bit of cramp. Having exerted himself. And fooey moi moi. Well, he's tied his hair up at half-time apart from anything else.
He has a running repair at half-time. He has a new shirt. He has his hair rebraided. He has a massage on his back.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's earned it. Here's the table as it stands. Wolfpack, we know, will finish 1 and are locked to advance to the Super 8s, as are those other top 5 clubs down to Doncaster. But there is some room as Ryan Burrows finds a little room, offloads to his captain. Craig Hall is in for his 4th try of the day. Captain Fantastic does it again for the Wolfpack.
All it started and finished it. A great ball for him to start with, to find his winger Ryan Burrows on the fly. Burrows had backed his pace, and I've been really impressed with Ryan today. He's took his chances when needed to, and found the right pass selection as well. He's renowned for being a quarterback in American football, but he's managed to try his hand in rugby league, and his core skills are always improving all the time. And I'm made up for him. He's managed to find a right to left pass to put Craig Hall under the post for his 4th try again. He's with Craig Hall, you look at how many tries and points he scored today. He's a special player, all in. So we're lucky to have him as captain, and I won't be telling that to his face, but yeah, he's a great player to play alongside, and he deserves today.
4 tries for the captain, looking to convert. Does so with no problem at all, and by my reckoning, he is the first Wolfpack player to 20 tries for the season. With that 4 try haul today, started the day with 16 and 4 more. Even my rudimentary maths can work out that that's 20. And here is number 20 again in slow-mo, just bouncing off opponents. No way they can stop him. And the Wolfpack are into the 50s.
Like what I said earlier, especially about Craig Hall, he's this type of player where he just needs the ball in his hand, and he started off the move from the scrum and managed to find the winger on the fly, and so he found a 20-metre cut-out pass and then managed to finish the try as well. So yeah, he's just a player. He just needs the ball in his hand wherever he's playing. I think he's playing at fullback at the moment with the absence of Johnny Parnell in the sin bin, and again, it's one of them players just needs the ball in his hand and he'll make stuff happen.
A word about Ryan Burrows, one of the unsung heroes, but again, a lot of the up-and-coming North American players, you know, Hall, and we hear about him, and Kay and Pownell every week. But a word about these North American players that you've had to, you know, meet and in a way, I guess, educate and bring on to the professional ranks.
It's been a great journey for me personally, especially the role I kind of took off since I joined the Wolfpack is a bit of mentoring and just looking at how we can improve as players and improve as people. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably not the most ideal role model to copy or to live up to, but just in things what I've experienced, especially at Super League level, we like to Reece and like to Ryan Burrows. They certainly got a lot of potential about them, and if they keep travelling the way they're going, I think being in this competition at the moment really helps their development and gets them a lot of game time than what they wouldn't normally get at bigger clubs who wouldn't give them that chance. But especially with the likes of our boys, especially in particular Burrows, who's had a lot of game time this year, the transformation of him has been outstanding. When I first joined the club, he couldn't pass a ball, and now he's looking flying on the wing. He's creating tries. So yeah, that's it. So we're not going to get carried away, and we look at the opposition we're playing each and every week. We won't fall in love with ourselves as such, but I think massive credit goes to the North American contingent. I think they've been outstanding, and the way they've bought into our environment and just their eagerness to learn has been a pleasure to see.
And I suppose it's important that you don't, because obviously the majority of the Wolfpack players are English players, a couple of Australians as well. It's important, I think, and you can speak to this from a player's perspective, that it's not a kind of an us and them mentality, a sort of, you know, we're the Brits, we know what we're doing, we invented the game, you're North Americans and we're going to teach you. You've kind of got to embrace them into it, and that might be easier said than sometimes.
I think quite the opposite in terms of, I think we want to be embraced by them. We're representing a Canadian-based team. We want to put Toronto on the map, and I think we've got to buy into their culture and their efforts and the way they do things, because the crowd here is full of Canadian crazy fans who love us for who we are, and we're not English over here. We're representing Toronto. I think when we get off the plane at the airport, you ask everyone, we certainly get a tingle down our spine when we see the Canadian flag. It certainly means a lot to us, and when it kind of narks a little bit when people say about the team no Canadians in it, and regardless of there's however many Canadians on the field at any one time, we're proud to represent Canada. We're proud to represent Toronto. I think we should be applauded for that.
Steve Crossley says thanks very much. Rare try for the big man, but they all count. And just his second try of the season for Crossley. It's a very good point you make there. Rhys Jacks, Tom Dempsey, Quinawati, of course, we've spoken about.
Great try from Steve Crossley. By the end of the night, we're telling everyone that's a 100-metre touchdown. You don't get many, so him and Bob, the coffee club, are stuck together there, the two dads, and managed to score a try under the post.
Like the fisherman's tail, they get longer and longer and bigger. But Crossley made no mistake, had to gather it in and put it down behind the post, which he did with aplomb, leaving Craig Hall with, we assume, the simplest of chances to knock that one between the posts and off towards the parking lot. And 56-16 with just about 20 minutes left to play.
I can't wait to speak to Steve Crossley about this. He'll be voting for this for try of the season. He'll even give you the dive and the celebration as well.
Well, it's a long way down for Steve Crossley. He's 6'5" and 254 pounds. So, you know, when he dives over, maybe the earth shakes a little behind the try lines there. But he takes a lot of stopping. Not a regular try scorer, but that's not his job. So 2 for the season. Congratulations to the former Bradford man. He's obviously in the mood now. Here he comes again. He must have made 7, 8, maybe 10 yards with 3 yellow and blue jerseys hanging onto his coattails. Laithwaite carries on the move. There's a dummy half. Wallace accepts the challenge from Williams. Jacks hands off to Bussey. 2 tackles to go. It was just about lateral to Sidlow. Referee, the touch judge is happy that it wasn't forward. Little up and under from Rhys Jacks. It's there to be one. Iwati tried to claim it. I think knock on was the adjudication. Was that what we saw there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out which way. I think we've actually got the ball. I think it's a Wolfpack ball, yeah.
It is, yeah.
So, on the back of that, I'm going to give Rhys Jacks a bit of an applaud there. On the back of a bit of a move from Bob Bezic, he realised it was last tackle and stopped himself dead and managed to put the kick away and get the kick into the corner. So we spoke all week about patience, especially on the back end of our sets, and make sure our kicking game good and keeping the ball in play, and Rhys Jacks certainly did that.
Here is Jacks, finds Greg Worthington. Didn't think he scored. Looking for the one-handed pass for Burrows. 10 metres short. Worthington at dummy half. He's going himself. Takes a bit of stopping. And finally hauls him down just a metre short. Bezic at dummy half. Jacks. Crossley fancies it again. Fui, moi, moi. So good they named him twice. Bezic. He often tries to dummy himself over. He's dropped it, you know. I think he's knocked it on. Uncharacteristic error from Bob Bezic.
Yeah, certainly Bob prides himself on his errors, and he certainly won't be happy with that. Yeah, it's certainly a loose character from Bob, and just probably got a little bit giddy. Saw the try line and tried diving over, but gives us a chance to defend. I say we're not defending for a while now. We've had all the ball, and hemel have been starved of the ball. So it's from what we've based ourselves on through the week, it gives us a chance to bar up and defend properly, and probably put poor Ollie mind at ease about his defence this week. He's certainly not been a happy coach.
Alex Williams and John O'Burns from the restart on the 20-metre line. Still tenacious tackling going on. Maybe a chance of a break here. Tony Norton dragged down just short of halfway. But the Hemel Stags, who, as we've mentioned, Liam Kay not happy with that, and now we've got some pushing and shoving, and now everybody wants their two penneth, and the referee's going to have to sort this out. Certainly Kay was involved. I think the initial challenge might have been on Nawati, and Kay reacted to the challenge. What did you see, Ryan, there?
Yes, Liam Kay just can't help himself. Any sort of issue on the field, he has to be there or thereabouts. But yeah, I think it's a bit of nothing, and probably a little bit of a tip over from Quinn. Just looking at it now, I think Liam's probably just got the wrong spot and managed to flip him over on top of it. But I don't think there's much in that. And the number 7 from Hemel's probably tried to put the Lawrence his own arm, which is a bit silly, really.
It was the Fairhurst challenge on Nawati, who was already in the process of tackling, and then Kay decided that it needed a little bit of retribution, and well, you can imagine what followed afterwards. Here's another angle. Kay upending him. Nawati's on his ear, and then in comes Fairhurst there, and that's what Kay took exception to. Conference going on in midfield between the referee and his touch judges. What did we see? Should we punish?
Right. Right, okay.
Let's see.
Right, okay.
Little over here, through the PA.
Okay. Right, got it. Right, Craig, come here. Captain, come here.
Captain's being called together.
First penalty.
Mitch Vincent and Craig
It's for a
Hall.
lift above the horizontal. That's what's caused the whole reaction. Right, well, I've got two judges giving me advice. The first penalty was for hemel. They're running in, there's no punches thrown, so I want people to use the discretion and use the common sense. Go away, talk to your players, sort it out from there. All right?
There you are. Common sense, says Mr. Bennett. Is that good refereeing, or should somebody be in the bin?
Craig,
No, I think that's great refereeing. There were no punches thrown as such, and I think with the first initial incident was the tip over on the horizontal position, which enables a penalty for Hemel. And on the back of it, there was no punches, just a bit of handbags really from Liam and the fellow player. So yeah, I think just the way the referee talks, there were no alter ego from him. I think he's spoke to Craig Hall and the other captain in the right manner.
One question, when this next move comes to an end, I'm going to ask you to explain handbags to a Canadian and an American audience. Good luck. So good luck with that one. Here comes Corey Hansen. Ball comes loose, but they've managed to keep it alive. Have the Stags, and they're within the 20 metres. And they got tackles to burn here. Williams outside for Jowett. Burns at dummy half. It was Whitehead, I beg your pardon. Mitch Vincent, the little grubber kick through. First to react was Rhys Jackson, just as well he was. And the turnover, right, handbags to a Canadian and American audience. What does that actually mean?
Well, I've watched a lot of hockey since I've been over here, so I don't know if their definition of handbags is exactly the same as mine, but handbags in English term is just a little bit of pushing and shoving, naturally no punching. So basically, a bit what I do, no punching, just be there and just have a look around and probably try and tie my shoelace or something. I don't get involved in that business.
Perfectly explained. A little bit of business, but it's all about nothing. Just a bit of pushing and shoving. Nothing serious. Nobody really gets hurt. Handbags. Good old English expression. Liam Kay, who was involved in those handbags, and finds Adam Sidlow. Just about 15 minutes to go. And a 40-point difference between the Toronto Wolfpack, chasing invincibility, I suppose you should say, in terms of their first regular season of 15 wins out of 15 against the Hemel Stags, who were on target for a 14th loss out of 15.
Oh, Paul's been speaking recently about how we could probably raise the intensity in the last 15 minutes. I think these type of games certainly die away, not the way we want to, so we want to raise our intensity levels a little bit higher and a little bit harder coming in these middle eights. We know we've got a lot tougher competition coming up against us, and Fui's trying to create a bit of momentum for us with that run right now.
I mean, he's worth the admission money alone, isn't he? Fui Moi Moi, he just is. He's just well, not quite a machine, as Rhys Jacks comes forward, taken down, thrown over by Whitehead. But when those big thighs get pumping, it's so difficult to stop him. Wallace, hat-trick. Second Toronto player today to get 3. Following the example of his captain Craig Hall, Blake Wallace on his return to give an election has a hat-trick for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, Blake's biggest threat is his running game, so when his attitude is right, he just wants to run the ball. He's certainly a dangerous player, and he says he's got the size and strength to get in between big men, tired men, and trying to muscle his way over, so there's no left foot there. He's just picks a back row out and just trying to worm his way over the line. He's managed to do it, and say again what I said to earlier, I'm really pleased for Blake, because if anyone deserves it, it's him. He's put a lot of hours into his rehab, and he's just been sat in a boot for the last 4 to 5 weeks. I felt really sorry for him, and had to be his dad, so we've had to clean his foot for him and cook his food for him, so he's I think he owes me a couple of tries.
No problem with the extras from Craig Hall. 62-16 is where we stand.
Bob shouldn't run in and do that, but
Craig Hall,
the first part
and now Blake Wallace
over the horizontal,
scoring hat-tricks for the Toronto Wolfpack today.
Bob, keep your head for 10 minutes, yeah?
Wallace, by my reckoning, now has 10 for the season, which is not bad, bearing in mind he had to sit out several weeks on the sidelines with that serious foot injury.
Stay on, boys!
Halfway behind his captain, and I'm sure Paul is happy about that. But it's a team sport, of course. Here comes big Steve Crossley again. He kept it alive. Fine, Bezic.
One, move! Hold! Go, one.
Jacks finds Fui Moi Moi, threatening to break through that blue and gold line. Goes loose. Referee, I think, has given a penalty to the Wolfpack, has he?
I think it was an error from Liam Kay.
I beg your pardon. No, he's looked now. I saw his arm sort of half come out, but it wasn't the official decision. That's, yes, there's the problem. The hand off from Fui Moi Moi to Liam Kay.
Get some water on, boys.
So we'll be heading feed to the Stags.
Time's off, get some water. Jack.
Right on halfway.
I can't change it.
First time in years of using this camera.
As the Wolfpack closing on that perfect 15-0 record.
Yeah, 110, yeah.
So here is where we are. So Wolfpack, we know, Raiders and Whitehaven play tomorrow for second place. York, Newcastle, Doncaster, all onto the Super 8s, and then it gets really interesting.
Yeah, certainly look at likes of Workington and Keighley and Northwest, and from my own experience playing against likes of Workington and Keighley away, it's certainly a difficult proposition for any team. So it's even though they're looking at the 7th, 8th position, when you have to go started in our eyes, I think just about to start hotting up and make for a really interesting end to the year.
Big Cumbrian derby tomorrow for second place in the regular season between Whitehaven and Barrow. Should be quite a day. Also worth bearing in mind when we're looking at the possible permutations for the Super 8s, which Vincent stopped there, but the actual points that you earn during the regular season, then when you go into the Super 8s, you add on the points. So that's something that we need to keep an eye on, because at the end of the day, the team with the most points at the end of the Super 8s is the team that's going to get promoted.
Yes, and it's a little bit different from the Championship and the Super League, where our points as a carry over in terms of if we finish first after the regular middle 8s, until we get promotion. So from our point of view, we're not going to look at which games we should win or which games we shouldn't. We just want to win every game and make sure we get promoted in top spot and keep our 100% record, because it's never been done before, so we want to be the first guys to do it.
History beckons the Wolfpack in their expansion season 2017. The voice of Ryan Brierley, who should hopefully be fit to return for those Super 8s. The first 3 are in the UK, then you come back to Toronto for the next 4. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have a preference? If you could juggle the schedule, you can't. I mean, does it make any big difference from a player's perspective?
If it was possible, I'd rather play over here every time. But it's not. We have to go back to England. So, but no, it is what it is. We knew this was going to happen. We knew we had to play 3 of our playoff games in the UK, and especially with teams flying over here. I think I think it's about time we did a bit of travelling as well. So it's it is what it is. We're comfortable with how the draw's been made out. We've got 3 away games in England, and we hope we're going to make Toronto proud of us, and when we come back there's a party atmosphere for us, and hopefully cheer us all the way onto promotion.
Up and under for the Stags as they look to pressure. They've got him really good defending, resolute defending from the Stags, because in those situations Kay's usually gone, but Fui Moi Moi is gone. Try Toronto. Fans love it. Wow.
It's a great. Can't explain how good this try is. We managed to catch the ball 2 meters out from our line. Burrows again. We don't really mention him as much as we should do. The way he's improved is absolutely outstanding. He managed to find a short ball to Liam Kay, who's gone 80, 90 metres, and I'm surprised Fui's even here. He's not at the back smoking his cigar. He shouldn't be here.
Oh, he's here. He's always here. Oldest man on the field, you would never know it.
He's like a big kid, and look at him when he scores. Must have throw the ball in the crowd.
And I mean, it's not that rare an event as far as Fui Moi Moi is concerned. That's his 10th try of the season. So, you know, he puts himself about as another football disappears into the parking lot from Craig Hall, and 68-16 is the difference between the teams. There we go. That's 1, 2, 3. Out the way, ref. Out the way, ref. Coming through.
He must have known he was going to score a try, because he wouldn't have been up there if he didn't. He's off for his rest now. There you go.
Done my best.
Hey boys, you showed up. Keep working.
He's a joy to watch. He really is. In the twilight of his career.
Time, you run.
Last week who made a Fui doll, and she stitched it herself, and it was great to see, and especially young fans at heart. I make it a big deal of my game to make sure young fans leave with a positive experience, and Fui is a massive part of that, and to see him interact with fans is a special moment, and I encourage every young fan in Toronto or Canada to get along to a game and just witness Fui in action and realise what a gem of a guy and what a real person he is.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Well said. Fui Moi Moi. In many respects, the heart and soul of the team, and always gets the fans on their feet, as does this man. Will it be 5 tries for Craig Hall? Just short, I believe. Just stretched out that long right arm. Have another look. He's already got 4 today.
A great ball by Jake Emmett to set him off with. I think Ollie's got Liam Kennedy's left and Jack's Wallace on his right. I think he should have picked one of their options. I think you probably saw the 5-try fever and tried to go for his 5th try and match Liam Kay's effort the last couple of weeks. But no, I think we'll let Craig all off for that. He's been outstanding all game, so we'll give him one.
And credit to Marcus Elliott for staying with him and just denying him inches short. Another great attendance, 7,247. Made the effort to come down and watch the Wolfpack in a game most of them knew would probably be a comfortable victory. A little bit of history to be made here, as we say. Don't want to labour the point.
It's always surreal when you see the attendances down here. It's a lovely day for rugby league, and you got 7,200 people watching a League One game. It's absolutely crazy, and I think people should stand up and take note of not just the team. It's because for us it's not about the team. It's about the fact that our franchise is growing, and the work David Agal and Eric Perez have put into this team deserves the applause and deserves all the credit. And as a team, we want to win. We want to win rugby league games, and that's always been our focus. And as professional rugby league players, we just want to win games. But in terms of the franchise and the business, and look how good of a spectacle this is, and as an experience. I remember speaking to a few of the players who've come over in the recent weeks and said about how good the atmosphere is, and like even Gloucester last week, they're getting claps off the field, and it's certainly a special occasion, an exciting time to be part of. And we, as a club and as a professional on my behalf, we thank the Toronto public for coming out and really supporting us in a league where there isn't many exciting games to talk about when we're blowing teams away 68 points to 16, but the full credit goes to the fans who are going to put up with it each week, and we promise we'll keep delivering our best efforts, and hopefully we'll keep increasing the crowd and helping this business and franchise grow.
Jack Bussey just being helped off there by physio Chris Ruston, got a bang in the face. Just about 5 minutes remaining of the regular season for the Toronto Wolfpack as they cruise towards another comfortable victory over the Hemel Stags, who may be condemned to the wooden spoon for the 2nd year running. Sam Crowther takes the tackle, floated by Marcus Elliott, who will remember his day in Toronto for scoring a try in the first half. And to be fair to the Stags, I mean, notwithstanding the scoreline, they've certainly come and given it a go and haven't disgraced themselves, Ryan.
No, certainly. I think their attitude's been outstanding.
I think so.
I know there was a little bit a few comments last week about the attitude of the Gloucester team, and I agree. I think they came to defend, especially when they was getting beat by 40, 50 points. They're trying to drill the ball into it, and they're just trying to damage limitation. But I think Hemel have carried on playing throughout the whole game, and their attitude deserves applauding. I think they've been outstanding, especially mentally, and it's easy for a team to come here and roll over, but they certainly haven't, and they deserve full credit to the coach for that as well.
There's Sidlow 3 metres short, couple of tackles remaining, and Fleming twists and scores for the Wolfpack. Into the 70s go Toronto.
That's his first try of the year, so you can understand the wild celebrations. It's a great moment for Dan Fleming. He's worked hard all game, actually. His intent with his contact and his running game has been brilliant. So again, another like Steve Cross, that'll turn into a 100-metre sprint by the end of tonight.
And you're absolutely right, it is his first try. Cue the celebrations for Dan Fleming, pride of Halifax and a Welsh international.
He's the big fella. Won't stop smiling.
All that hard work paid off. Well, I'm not saying I could kick this, but I'd give it a good go. No problem at all, of course, for the captain, Craig Hall. And 74-16 with the conversion.
Just too big and too strong here from Dan Fleming. Bob jumps out, managed to find Dan Fleming a short lead, hit and spinning, and find himself over the try line. And big Adam Sidlow's happy. That's his prop forward partner in crime. So yeah, I've made up for Dan Fleming. It's nice to get over the try line, especially when you don't score many like these big front rowers.
We've got 2.5, 3 minutes left to play. Just keeping an eye on the Stags heaviest defeats of the season. They lost 82-0 at Barrow back in March. The following month, I beg your pardon, they were battered 84-6 at home by Keighley, so 74-16. But they've come and given it a go. They've scored 2 or 3 tries. Burrows has been much in evidence in a good way for the Wolfpack today. High tackle, says the referee. So Burrows gets us underway, kicks for position. It'll be 6 from there for the Wolfpack. Look at the energy. I mean, the game's already won, long won, but they're still keen to get on with it, Ryan.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we want to put a real focus on finishing games really strong, especially in front of our home crowd as well.
Worthington caught an opponent there, and now Worthington and Williams are exchanging pleasantries. I think originally it was accidental. What's the referee going to make of this as we see some more of Ryan's handbags?
Leave it, son, we're done.
There was certainly an arm or a hand to the face in the first place from Worthington, I believe. I'm not sure at full speed or in real time it was anything other than an accident. Now, there we go. Now we're all shaking hands, but there are some running players. Here's what happened.
Just Greg trying to wrestle out of his contact, and probably just doing Greg, he's trying to shrug him off a little bit. It's just a bit of a slap in the face, really.
There is a second slap in the face for sure on Josh Casey. The first one he's trying to wrestle out of. The second one had a little more intent about it.
Just a little bit petty from Greg, especially coming to the end of the game. It's probably not what was needed, but Greg's that type of character. He plays tough, he plays aggressive, so everything's a battle for Greg, and he's actually played with Greg for a number of years. He's certainly very physical and aggressive in that area. So, but I know Greg won't be happy with himself with letting his teammate down in that area.
Well, it is a penalty. Of that, there is no doubt, to the Hemel Stags on halfway.
You're going to touch?
Yeah, don't see any more than that. Kicked out of play.
No, he's got the tap. You tapped it, then kicked it.
Tapped it, then kicked it.
Tapped it, then kicked it.
Technical error, it would appear. Some handshakes. I think we're all done. We haven't heard the hooter yet. Or did we hear the hooter? Did it go and I wasn't listening? It probably did, and I was trying to work out what was happening with Greg Worthington.
Once you tapped it, it's back in play.
Well, some smiles, some hugs, some appreciation. Renawati there, exchanging with Mark Barlow, went over for the Hemel Stags. And a little bit of rugby league history in Toronto as the Wolfpack are the first team to go through the regular season since expansion with a perfect 15-0 record.